What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. New video for you today. If you have noticed and wondered how Kane Brown has got into such amazing shape, I'm about to show you guys today. I'm going to take you through his whole upper body workout that he used during quarantine to add a bunch of muscle to him. So stick around. Video will have the description below of the workout itself in entirety. That way you guys can follow along with the workout and try it for yourself. Alright guys, so on the workout, very straightforward. Bodybuilding like to the T. So it starts out with a barbell chest press. Everything on here except for one lift is going to be 3 sets, 10 to 12 reps. So after the barbell chest press, we move into an incline bench. Then from there we move to incline flies with dumbbells. And then he does a little bit of a different variation for his side raises. He does an elbow bent. So here, kind of like a raise this way as opposed to having that arm out to the side. And then the one exercise, we go 5 sets, and it's a superset. It is regular dumbbell curls and then hammer curls. So he does 5 sets, 8 reps of each of those. And then we move on, gonna set up the TRX, do TRX rows at an angle, so not completely inverted, but at an angle. And then the last thing he does is dumbbell shoulder presses, 3 sets, 10, 12 reps there. So like I said, a lot of upper body stuff. Not much for the back, not much for triceps. I'm assuming he would do that on a separate day. And then everything, like I said, really straightforward, 3 sets, 10, 12 reps. So should be really smooth workout, really easy to follow along. I'm gonna have this whole thing listed out for you guys down in the description as well, so make sure you check it out down there. And just a reminder guys, I still have the 12-week ebook program that I created. The link's gonna be down in the description for that as well. It is actually on sale right now for the rest of this month as a New Year's sale. So make sure you check that out. Really great program. Something I've used myself and with clients to get them great results. So make sure you check that out if you're looking for something for the New Year's to get going, get yourself back in shape. All right guys, so got the barbell set up. I am gonna turn the music down. Little old rock going. One thing I always tell people, one thing I always do with all my clients, no matter how good you feel that day, I always tell people to warm up starting with the bar. No matter how strong you are, even if your max bench press is over 300 pounds, it's always good to start with the bar to get your joints warmed up, get those muscles stretched out. And you may not realize it until you start bench pressing, you might have a weird thing going on internally somewhere that when you get into the bottom of that press or you're going back out, it might hurt, it might feel funny. And if you start with too much weight to begin with, you might not be able to overcome that. So starting with the bar really allows you to assess how your push day is gonna go. So let's get started with this warm up. Again guys, really light, obviously, 45-pound bar. Just going through the motion, just making sure I get a good stretch at the bottom here, making sure that I'm activating my chest on the press out, leading with the chest on that press, trying not to let my shoulders go here, but really squeezing the chest together at the top. So, feels pretty good there. We'll go ahead and add some weight on. I'm gonna go up to 45s on each side. Do a warm up there at 135, and then I'll probably do my first working set. So remember, we're doing 3 sets. My first working set of those 3, I'll probably hop up to 185, see if I can get 10 to 12. If I get 12, I will probably add a little bit more weight for the next set and kind of assess again from there. Once I start getting a little more weight on as I use clips. Now, when I'm by myself, it's very important that I use clips. I also have these spotter arms set up just above chest level. so that if I ever get stuck at the bottom of a press, or if I have a random injury occur to where I get stuck at the bottom and something goes wrong, I won't get crushed by the bar. I have these set up here. So this 185, no, it's not a lot of weight, but if I happen to get stuck, like I said, I don't want to have to worry about spilling weights side to side. The clips allow me to keep that on. I can stay at the bottom, rest the bar here, slide myself out. So I'm gonna do this first set, 185, aim in 10 to 12, and then we'll move up from there. Let's do it. I was able to get 12 on that. 12th one was a little tough, not too bad. So I'm gonna go up some, but I'm not gonna make a huge jump. I think I'm gonna go ahead and add 5 to each side. Put me at 195 for my next set. Try to get 10 to 12 again. So another big thing to keep in mind, especially when you're doing heavy compound lifts like this, is giving yourself enough recovery time. So I've got two things going today. One, there's a little bit of cold air coming in. It's making it a little bit harder on my lungs. Other thing going on is I can't breathe out of my nose right now. So you can kind of hear I'm a little bit out of breath. My heart rate is elevated. I'm gonna try and let all that come down a little bit, like 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes tops in between sets. Should be enough recovery time for my heart rate and for the muscles themselves. So then I can go back to my next set and make sure I give 100% of my 90% at that point. And then I'll recover again in between and do my next set. All right guys, last set. I'm gonna stay at the 195. That was like a real good set that I had. Had a little bit of trouble with the lockout at that very last rep. Just kind of what you want when you're doing that 10 to 12 range. You want to be able to get your last rep to be at that 12 with a little bit of struggle. So stay there, gonna try and knock out this last one, and then we'll move on to some incline bench from there. All right, did not make it to 10. I think that was number 8. I'm gonna blame the music because I didn't turn it up. I just couldn't get my head right. But still a good set. I got that last rep, struggled a little bit. It's okay to not quite make it there. So now, next time if I were to do this workout, again, I would know when I'm working in that 3-set, 10 to 12 rep range, maybe to say a 185 for all 3 sets as opposed to going up to 195 until I can do all 3 at that weight. And then at that point, I can move up. The next week I can do it. The next week I go up again. So let's take this off, get ready for incline. So a couple things on here. 135, we're doing the incline bench. And one thing is the angle that I have set up on the bench itself. All right, so most commercial gyms, you get into the incline bench and it's already set at a certain angle for you, which is usually 45 degrees. I have mine set up more at a 30-degree angle, which in my opinion, if you ask a lot of people, they'll probably say the same thing, is more of an optimal incline for you to do incline bench. It's a little bit more joint friendly as well, kind of works with your natural biomechanics, pressing at that angle. The 45-degree puts you a little bit too much upright, gives you more focus on the front delt, which you don't want necessarily when you're doing incline for chest. So 30-degree there, and then the other thing on the floor here, Now this is something I have to do because of the height of this bench, is I put these two things, dumbbells here on the floor. What this allows me to do is get my feet here, which then also allows me to keep contact with my back against the bench. Without it, I go here, and as minute I get back, the lower part of my back arches away from the bench. A little arch is good, too much arch is not, and so that's why I have these here. If you have a bench that sits good for your height, obviously you don't need something like that, but for me, just a little bit more necessary. It allows me to grab my feet, get my hips underneath me as well. That way I can make sure I get good pushes. So first set here, 3 sets, 10, 12 again. I set up with 135. I have not done barbell incline in a long, long time, so this might be a little ambitious. We'll find out. All right, so finished off last set there. I'm gonna move on now to dumbbell flies. I'm gonna keep the angle of the bench on the same and then just go into my flies here, all right? Incline dumbbell fly. A couple keys to remember on this fly: keep your shoulders safe. One is when you go to do the eccentric portion of this, try to make sure your hands do not go below the top of your chest. That'll keep you from rolling your delts to the front. Keep the stretch on your chest. The other thing is at the top of that here, you want to make sure your arms are almost completely locked out and straight. All right, so you go from a bent motion on the out to a straight motion, trying to bring those elbows as close together as you can at the top of the rep. Again, 3 sets here, 10 to 12. Let's do it. All right, so that is gonna complete the chest part of this workout. Coming up now, we'll be doing the lateral raise with that little variation that he does, which is a bent elbow. So we'll be here as opposed to straight out. And then we're going to biceps, a little bit of back, and then finish off with shoulder press. I personally think it's a little strange to finish your whole workout with the shoulder press, which is basically like another heavy compound movement. It's kind of weird to have it at the end. So I don't know, for him, maybe he's got lagging shoulders, he's trying to build them up more, and so he's trying to pre-exhaust, fatigue the shoulder muscle before he goes into the heavy press. To me, that's a little counterproductive, but I'm sure his trainer's got a good plan for him and whatever it is that he's doing. And again, fitness is very individualized, so you gotta do what works best for you, or in my case, I have to train my clients for what works best for them. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this out, get to these lateral raises, and see you on the other side here. All right, 1 set down, doing 3 sets. I've got this set up on 20. Not a lot of weight, but it doesn't take a lot. You gotta remember there's these 3 separate shoulder muscles you have. Each one of them individually is not a large muscle, so you don't really have to overdo it with the weight to see growth in them. I personally think the more volume you can get in each muscle, the better than going just heavy on that. So I'm gonna stick with this 20 for the next 2 sets, and then we'll move on from there. Okay, now we get ready to do some buys for the guys. Superset, remember we were doing regular bicep curls here with the dumbbells, immediately into hammer curl, so neutral grip on that. 5 sets of these, 8 reps of each side. and it should be a good challenge. Should be a good challenge. So we're gonna set up this TRX to do some rows. Elevate this just a little bit. These are really, really good if you struggle to do bodyweight pull-ups, if you're really trying to strengthen your back, but pull-ups aren't an option for you yet. I highly recommend doing these either with the TRX, or you can even set up like gymnastics rings if they have them at your gym, and you can do them that way. Third option you can do is just setting up a straight barbell on top of one of these here, going underneath of it and using that barbell, pull your chest towards the bar. So 3 options, all really, really good. Like I said, if you're struggling to get pull-ups and that's a goal you have, I would maybe start with these, try and master these, get really strong there, and then go to your pull-ups. So we're gonna do 3 sets on this, 10, 12 reps, and then we're almost done. We got this and one more thing, finish off the shoulders, and then we're gonna call it a day. So let's go ahead and get after these. All right, so let's move on to shoulder press. Last movement of the workout, 3 sets, 10 to 12. Get this bench set up. I'm going to show you again something a little bit different on the angle that I use for my overhead press. Not so much straight up and down. I'll show you that here in a second. So let me get that set up and we'll go over that. Got this set up here. Now you'll notice, typically when people do overhead press military style, this back pad is going to be more in this position here, right? So more of a straight up and down alignment. What I don't necessarily like about this for myself, now again, if this works better for you at this position, do that. But for me, in the way that I move with my upper body, I like to have a slightly larger angle. So I will actually bring mine down to here, okay? So this is putting me somewhere around like an 80-degree angle, probably 75, 80-degree angle. And that's a little bit more friendly again for my joints and where I get to press from. And so what I will do, I still get pressed into this. I'm still all the way back here, okay? But now I'm gonna be pressing from here, and then I still come up and out, and I'm still in this position. So my finishing position is not any different than what you would normally see, but my start position and the angle of my press is just slightly more friendly and works better for what I do. So I'm gonna start my first set, 10, 12 reps. I'm going to start on around 40 pounds. Typically I can do like 55, 60, but again, this is at the end of the workout. I feel like I'm probably a little bit fatigued in my shoulders as well as my supporting muscles for this lift, so I'm gonna go a little bit lighter. So that was the last lift of this Kane Brown workout. Definitely a tough workout. Like I said at the beginning, very, very bodybuilding centric, which I think is great. A lot of simple, basic maneuvers here, but I feel like a lot of people overlook those, try to reinvent the wheel too much and try to make their workouts too complicated. Honestly guys, when you're trying to get in shape, if you're trying to burn fat, things like that, heavy compound lifts is kind of like where you should start. Master those, start to add in some other things to go along with those. So I can definitely see why he was able to kind of recomp his body, add a lot of muscle to him while getting rid of whatever little bit of fat he had at the same time. And so, guys, I'm still out of breath. Maybe I need to get back in my conditioning workouts. These heavy bodybuilding workouts are not doing me any good. So that's what I've got for you on this workout. If you got any questions, make sure you leave them down below in the comment section. Also, feel free to hit me up on Instagram. I am on there all the time, always ready to answer your questions. So, guys, if you made it this far, make sure you drop a like for the video. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. Hopefully you enjoyed the content today, and I will see you at the next one. Peace.